Mic check. 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 Mic check.
Is Nick Raymond, Superintendent of Schools of RSU 22. I'd like to call our district budget meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. First order of business, we need to nominate a moderator for this evening, so I will take motions for moderator.
I'll nominate Greg M. as the moderator.
Motion for Greg M. to moderate tonight's event.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Any other nominations? By a show of your colored ballot, if you please raise that up, indicating you approve Mr. M. And opposition. Greg, if you're voting.
So I, Greg M. swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine, so long as I shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent on me as moderator of the Regional School Unit Number 22 budget meeting on June 8, 2023, according to the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine. Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming out and participating in this process. My first order of business is to swear in the ballot clerks. So if I can get the ballot clerks to come up. Just have the table over there. So, ready? Do you swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine, so long as you shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent on you as ballot clerk of the Regional School Unit Number 22 budget meeting on June 8, 2023, according to the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine? So, I think they prepared written notes that are with your name on it. So if you just find yours, sign the office. So while they're signing their oaths, I will move on. The next order of business is to set the procedures for tonight's meeting. I'm going to generally be guided by the Maine Moderator's Manual, which is the rules of procedure that almost all moderators use for almost all Maine town meetings and school budget meetings. Is there any objection to me using the Maine Moderator's Manual for our procedures tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll do that. So this is a meeting of the legislative body of the RSU. You guys are the voters, and your job tonight is to approve a budget. And that budget will be submitted to a referendum vote next Tuesday for a yes/no vote, and you'll need to go to your local polling places for that. So briefly, this is how we'll proceed. I'll take up the business of tonight's business is set forth in the warrant, which is printed in the little newspaper handout. There's starting with Article 1, and it goes through Article 25. Those 25 articles are the agenda for this evening. So again, I'll take up each one in order. After I read the article, I'll look for a motion and a second. Once it's been moved and seconded, I'll open the floor up for discussion. So I ask that you please use the microphone for discussion, just so everyone can be heard, and it will also help let you be recorded on that thing. So when I recognize you, please state your name and the town you're from. And please limit all your remarks to be relevant to the motion that's on the floor. And I'll kind of reserve setting up any ground rules about limits, time limits, and things like that until necessary. But I will arm you with one tool, and that is discussion can go on sometimes for a while, and sometimes you can feel like we've talked about this enough. If you'd like to stop discussion and move to a vote, you can do that. You make a motion, just say, I move the question, or just say, I'm tired of this, can we vote? But it's a little extraordinary, so it requires a 2/3 vote in order to stop discussion. Go on, okay? I think I'll just dispense with other ground rules because we'll just see how it goes. And I'll launch right into the warrants. All right. So starting with Article 1, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for regular instruction, the school board recommends $13,088,171.23. Is there a motion?
Second.
Thank you. So Article 1 has been moved and seconded. I'm going to open the floor up for discussion. Are there any comments? Yes, you can come up and state your name and town.
Hi, my name is Debbie Phillips. It's Debbie Phillips Brinkworth. I live in Hamden at 11 Summer Street. And I am here to talk a little bit and make a proposal because under Article 1, I think 3 full-time positions have been cut in the middle school language programs. And although I understand why, and I am fully confident that the board will continue to advocate research and try and re-implement the program, I'm moving to add a dollar amount for students in the middle school with the idea that the money will be used for cultural enrichment through, I'm hoping, a partnership with the high school to help them prepare for what they can do at the high school. And my,
Ken,
sorry.
I'm just going to stop for a second.
Yeah,
I think you're going to make a motion to amend the dollar amount.
yes.
Can you make the motion? And once we get a second, I'll let you speak to the
Okay,
motion.
I make the motion, you may have to help me out here. I make the motion for $15,000 to be added into the budget with the thought that what I'm basing it on is 300 students, although it's probably more than that, at $50 a student to add to the cultural.
And you said 15, 1-5?
1-5.
Okay. So is there a second to that motion to amend? Is there a second? Okay, and now I promised I would let you start, but I'm going to give a point of information. Any changes to the dollar amounts, and we might state reasons or suggest reasons for the dollar amount or a decrease. It's ultimately up to the school
Right.
board how they expend, so they're not bound by.
Right, they're not
purpose.
bound by using this money for this amount, for
I'll
this
let you speak to your motion.
cause. Okay, well, I might be almost done here, but I realize it's at the discretion of the superintendent and the board how the money gets spent, but I'm hoping to keep this program out in front of the community, to keep the students enriched and involved, and to form a partnership with the high school. Some more work would have to be done in the background of this, but that's my proposal, $15,000 back in where it came out of for those purposes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to amend the previous motion. So any discussion on amending the motion? Okay, so we're going to vote on the motion to amend to increase the dollar amount by $15,000. We're not voting to approve the article in that amount. We're voting to change the motion that's on the floor. So all those in favor of the motion to amend? Just raise your little card. Okay, opposed? Okay, I'm going to say the motion fails. So we're back to the original motion, which is to approve Article 1 and the amount recommended. Is there any other discussion on Article 1?
Yeah, I'd just like to recognize the
the previous motion amendment that it's unfortunate that that didn't come forth during our multiple budget committee sessions. However, I know with our ability as a board to take funds within a certain percent from one category to the next, and given the amount of growth in our unallocated fund balance that would more than cover the cost of that program on an annual basis, my suggestion is that that be taken up with the administration. We can't singularly create positions at this meeting. However, the idea or the concept of the program that you're talking about is certainly within the strategic plan, and I suspect that you'll find better luck working directly with admin to maybe see that come to fruition. And again, that's my vote in opposition was not of the concept, but just the manner by which it took place. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there other discussion on Article 1? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote by show of the cards. All those in favor of Article 1 and the amount recommended? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. So Article 1 passes in the amount recommended. Article 2, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for special education, the school board recommends $7,935,179.83.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 2? Okay, seeing none, we're going to vote on Article 2 and the amount recommended. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 2 passes in the amount recommended. Article 3, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for career and technical education, the school board recommends $0.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 3? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 3 passes in the amount recommended. Article 4, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for other instruction, the school board recommends $1,103,535.05.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 4? Yes, sir. Please state your name and town.
Eric Jarvie, 10 Sophie Lane, Hamden. I rise in support of the motion, but I do have a concern with the subtotal secondary extracurricular activities. I know there's a lot that goes into that component. 90% of the variance is in that single line item. My concern with that single line item happens to do with facilities rental. You're probably aware of this, but you know our lacrosse team doesn't play at home. They play at Cameron Stadium, and they play at Hudson University. And I happen to know a couple of lacrosse players. I don't have any myself, but I happen to know a couple of lacrosse players, one who's graduating and never played a home game at Hamden Academy. And I think that's unfortunate. I know this is the first year. I know there's probably some compelling reasons, but I would hope in the future that we'll look and see what we can do to see if we can't get our lacrosse team playing at home on our own field. I think that's very, very unfortunate that they weren't able to do that this year. I know the girls' team is a little bit unique because it's a co-op team. It's co-op with Brewer. There's probably some extenuating circumstances. They didn't play a home game at all at Hamden Academy. And again, I think that's unfortunate. So again, while I rise in support, I hope that the athletic department and the administration will recognize that you know, there are some things that are hidden in these costs that can be unfortunate when it comes to our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on Article 4? Okay, all those in favor of Article 4 the amount recommended? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 4 passes in the amount recommended. Article 5, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for student and staff support, the school board recommends $3,490,252.61.
Motion? Second?
Any discussion on Article 5? seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Okay, Article 5 passes in the amount recommended. Article 6, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for system administration, the school board recommends $1,012,180.46.
Motion? Second?
Any discussion on Article 6? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Thank you. Article 6 passes in the amount recommended. Article 7, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for school administration, the school board recommends $1,729,550.27.
Motion? Second?
Is there any discussion on Article 7? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Thank you. Article 7 passes in the amount recommended. Article 8, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses, the school board recommends $1,694,720.67.
Motion? Second?
Anybody like to say anything about Article 8? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Okay, Article 8 passes in the amount recommended. Article 9, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. The school board recommends $4,334,621.46.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 9? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 9 passes in the amount recommended. Article 10, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments, the school board recommends $2,896,815.47.
Motion? Second?
Any discussion on Article 10? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 10 passes in the amount recommended. Article 11, to see what sum the regional school unit will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures, the school board recommends $0.
Motion? Second?
Any discussion on Article 11? Guess not. Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 11 passes in the amount recommended. So those first 11 articles were the articles that authorized expenditures. The next 3 articles raise revenues to support the budget. Article 12, to see what sum the regional school unit will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the regional school unit will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15688. And the recommended amounts are set forth in 2 columns. The column on the left is the amount to appropriate. That's the Essential Programs and Services. The funding model determines is, I guess, the bare minimum for basic education, and that's $30,576,268.36, with the allocations broken out above per town. On the right-hand side is the amounts to be raised by each town, and it totals $8,928,221.50, with the allocations to the 4 towns above that. Could I get a motion?
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on Article 12?
A quick question. As I'm looking towards the rest of them, notice that the rest of them include pre-K. Why is pre-K not included in Article 12?
Yeah, so the statutory definitions of kindergarten includes pre-K. So maybe it should have said pre-K, but it didn't, but it's of no consequence. Any other questions or discussion on Article 12? Yes, sir.
Kevin Kelly, 79 Riverview Heights, Winterport. My question is the allocations. How is that determined? Anyone can answer.
So it's a formula that the state uses. So it's, I'll try to say this briefly.
Sure.
So each town has an allocation of, it's based on pupil percentage. So the EPS formula spits out this total number of 30,576,000, and then that's apportioned among the towns according to pupil percentage.
And what's the total number of students then from the Winterport district? And then the total cap on the number.
And Greg, while you're looking it up, I'd also note that when RSU 22, actually at the time, prior to being RSU, it also included the ratio evaluation. So it's a combination of valuation and student population.
Okay, thanks, Rob. So the population then for the student population in Winterport, do you have that number handy?
Student population for Winterport is 540 students.
540, and then the total number?
2175 and a half.
Got the half. Thank you.
Okay, is there any other discussion on Article 12? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of Article 12 as the amount recommended? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 12 passes in the amounts recommended. Article 13. To see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate for the annual payments on debt service previously approved by the regional school unit voters for non-state funded school construction projects or non-state funded portions of school construction projects, in addition to the funds appropriated as the local share of the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12. The school board recommends $435,158.93.
Motion? Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 13? Okay, all those in favor? Oh, yes.
My name's Tammy Higgins from Winterport. Could you explain this question? It's so long, I don't understand what exactly it's saying.
Okay. So, this, like for instance, when Hampton Academy was built, it was mostly state subsidized. There were some other costs that the state wasn't going to pay for. I think maybe the Performing Arts Center or part of that because it was extra. And the debt service to pay for those parts of school construction that weren't state subsidized is being raised here. Okay, does that help? Also, if there was another school construction that was not state subsidized or locally funded, the debt service for that would be in here too. Any other? Yes, sir.
So Kevin Kelly again from Winterport. So when does that debt service, when is it satisfied?
I'm guessing 2020, this building was built in 2007. So it's a 20-year bond.
It was a 20-year?
Yeah, so 2008, 27 or 28?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other discussion on Article 13? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 13 passes in the amount recommended. Article 14, so by law, this article has to be voted on by written ballot. Did they go back to the clerks to get the ballot, or did we hand them out when they checked in? Okay. All right, and we'll sort out the procedure after we discuss this article. So, Article 14. To see what sum the regional school unit will raise and appropriate in additional local funds, recommend $4,733,692.49, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by recommended $4,733,692.49, as required to fund the budget recommended by the school board. The school board recommends $4,733,692.49, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by $4,733,692.49. And the school board gives the following reasons for exceeding the state's essential programs and services funding model. And that is that the EPS does not fully support all of the necessary costs of a comprehensive pre-K to 12 education programs, such as athletics, co-curricular program costs, transportation for athletics and co-curricular programs, and special education costs. Is there a motion?
Motion? Second.
Is there any discussion on Article 14? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to vote. And again, we're going to vote by written ballot. So I believe you go visit the clerk for your town, and they'll give you a ballot, and you can deposit in I guess each town has a ballot box in front of the bleachers there. So. We're going to close the voting, and I'll ask the ballot clerks to count the ballot, please. Thank you. correct what I said earlier, that the board member tried to, I think I misunderstood your question earlier about how things were apportioned. I thought you meant how the EPS allocations that are on the warrant article were apportioned, and that's by pupil count. But the final number, like the additional local funds, how they're split among the towns, is based on a cost-sharing formula that's a blend of valuation and pupil counts, or population. So if you have your tallies, I think what we do here is come to the microphone and announce your total. And for which town?
So for Hamden, 26 ballots cast, 26 yes.
Thank you.
Newburgh has 5 ballots cast and 5 yes.
Thank you.
Winterport, 15 ballots cast, 10 yes, 5 no.
Thank you.
Frankfort, 4 ballots, 3 yes, 1 no.
I get 44 yes and 6 no. Yeah. So I'm declaring the results 44 in favor, 6 opposed. So Article 14 passes in the amounts recommended. Thank you, Bella. So Article 15. To see what sum the regional school unit will authorize the school board to expend for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30, 2024, from the regional school unit's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, local funds for non-state funded school construction debt service, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. The school board recommends $37,285,027.16.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on Article 15? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 15 passes in the amount recommended. Article 16, to see if the regional school unit will appropriate $80,849.95 for adult education and raise $36,000 as the local share, with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and for the well-being of the adult education program.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on Article 16? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 16 passes as written. Article 17. In addition to amounts approved in the preceding articles, shall the school board be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school and other program purposes, provided that such grants, programs, or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 17? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 17 passes as written. Article 18, shall the school board be authorized to transfer amounts exceeding 5% of the total appropriation for any cost center to another cost center or among other cost centers for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, provided that transfers shall not be permitted to increase the authorized total school budget.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion on 18? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 18 passes as written. Article 19. Shall the RSU authorize the school board to establish a non-lapsing contingency fund for periods of financial emergency pursuant to Section 1482B3 of Title 20A, and to transfer the RSU's unallocated balances in excess of 9% of the prior fiscal year's budget as determined by audit to that fund? And shall the RSU delegate authority to the school board to expend sums in the contingency fund when the school board determines by public vote that an emergency need exists, and to transfer sums in the contingency fund to the RSU's general fund for use in school operating budgets approved by RSU voters?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 19? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 19 passes as written. Article 20, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $375,000 from available year-end fund balances to the RSU's previously established capital reserve fund, and to expend up to $475,000 from the capital reserve fund to fund capital projects in the RSU, including the following. And there's a list of capital projects, 18 things. I won't read them. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 20? Yes, sir.
Eric Jarvie, 10 Sophie Lane, Hamden. For the benefit of the public, in expending $475,000, do we have a figure that would exist in this reserve count? I would assume we're not overspending it, but we don't have a balance. I know we're transferring a significant amount in. So I'd just like, as a point of information, to know what our balance would be.
The current figure is $332,476.05. If we add the $375,000, that would put us at $707,476.05.
Thank you. Any other discussion on Article 20? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 20 passes as written. Article 21, shall the school board be authorized to transfer $150,000 from available year-end fund balances to the previously established school athletic facility capital reserve fund?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion on Article 21? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 21 passes as written. Article 22, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $50,000 from year-end available fund balances to the previously established technology reserve fund, and to expend $50,000 from said reserve fund to update the equipment in the Hampton Academy Mac Lab?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion on Article 22? Yes, sir.
Kevin Kelly again from Winniport. Is part of this fund also to upgrade the accounting software?
When the fund was established, it was established to include upgrading our accounting software at some point and the technology required within the school system.
So the accounting software that you have now, is that being sunsetted?
It will be at some point. They haven't given us a deadline. We're being cautious and letting other people work the bugs out. before we move to a new system.
Same company, and will it be reserved in the cloud for the database?
It will probably be the same company, but we may look at others too when we get to that point.
Okay, so there's sufficient funds in here then, if you're not looking at the same company, that you can receive quotes back to look at the other softwares? Okay, thank you very much.
Any other discussion on Article 22? Okay. All in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 22 passes as written. And before I forget, I need to correct the record from earlier about when the debt service expires or matures. And I had the opening date wrong. So the school opened in 2012 and 20-year bond matures in 2052. Sorry, I was wrong before. Article 23, shall the school board be authorized to transfer up to $50,000 to the fuel cost stabilization fund from year-end available fund balances? And the current fund balance in the fuel cost stabilization fund is $150,000. If this article is approved as written, the balance will be $200,000, and there's a disclosure about the amounts expended in the past 2 years and this year to date, which is all zeros.
Motion? Second?
Any discussion on Article 23? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 23 passes as written. Article 24, shall the United Technology Center Region 4 Career and Technical Education Operating Budget, as approved by the Cooperative Board for the year beginning July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024, be approved in the amount of $4,159,421.61.
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Any discussion on Article 24? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 24 passes as written. Article 25. Shall the United Technology Center Region 4 approve a budget for adult education in the amount of $318,528.80 for the year beginning July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024, with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and well-being of its adult education program, and shall Regional School Unit Number 22 raise $7,617.04 as its share of the adult education budget?
Motion? Second?
Thank you. Is there any discussion on Article 25? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Thank you. Article 25 passes as written. So that's the end of our business for this evening. I'd like to thank everyone again for coming out and participating in this. I'd like to thank the ballot clerks again. And remind everyone again that June 13th, next Tuesday, is a yes/no vote on the budget that was adopted at this meeting. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion? Second?
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.